Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yellowstone's 6666 Texas Ranch puts Teonna Rainwater in danger in 1923 Season 2. Teonna Rainwater has ventured into Texas in 1923, and she's in danger near a familiar location, the 6666 Ranch. Taylor Sheridan has expanded his Yellowstone franchise with 2 shows so far, but there's more on the way. Aside from telling the story of the Dutton family's lineage at various points, the Prohibition-era Western drama is examining the history behind 2 other major components of the original Yellowstone universe: the Rainwater family and the famous 4-6's Ranch, the real-world establishment recently purchased by Taylor Sheridan. In 1923's cast, Amina Neves plays Teonna Rainwater, the likely ancestor of Yellowstone's Thomas Rainwater. She's been on the run since Season 1's ending, and Season 2, Episode 4, saw her progressing deeper into Texas. Eventually, she'll have to make her way back to Montana, raising questions about how her story will progress over the season's final 4 episodes. For now, she's in danger and may find an unlikely ally in Spencer Dutton, who's also on the run in the same area. Yellowstone fans may remember the 6666 Ranch from Season 4, where Jimmy began working there to grow as a cowboy. The Yellowstone Ranch cowboys eventually return there in Season 5, Part 2, setting up the dangers and the responsibilities of the Texas Ranch to be even more high stakes than in Montana. Notably, Taylor Sheridan purchased the 6666 Ranch in real life back in 2021, and has planned to develop a Yellowstone spin-off at the location. This is one of his many shows currently in development, though there haven't been updates in a while. Meanwhile, Taylor Sheridan has shown a period version of the 6666 by displaying it in 1923. The actual ranch was established in 1900, meaning it would have been around during this time in its early stages. Teonna and her companions briefly watch a cattle drive at the ranch, where they've made friends and allies with the local cowboys. However, 1923 Season 2 Episode 4 ending seems to suggest that this friendliness may not last for long. Teonna Rainwater's brief moment of peace is cut short when she notices her wanted sign posted around. She still has dangerous men in her pursuit, and now that there's a pricey reward out for her capture, those cowboys could turn on her at any moment. Teonna hasn't been able to find safety for long throughout 1923, but the final episodes may show things get more dangerous than ever for her. The vast, unforgiving landscape of Texas stretched before Teonna Rainwater, a place both foreign and familiar in its harsh beauty. She had fled the horrors of the Catholic boarding school, survived the relentless pursuit of Father Renaud, and found fleeting moments of peace in Montana. But peace was never meant to last long for someone like her. The world was still an unkind place for a young indigenous woman on the run, and danger had a way of finding her no matter where she sought refuge. Word had reached Hank's family of a safe haven far south, beyond Montana's borders, beyond the reach of those who hunted her. The 6666 Ranch in Texas was whispered about among those who knew where to hide from the law. Owned by cattle barons who had little love for government interference, it was said to be a place where a person could disappear if they knew the right people. And so Teonna, guided by Hank's son, Co., made the treacherous journey southward, hoping to start anew. The journey itself was perilous. Bandits roamed the plains, the heat of the Texas sun bore down on them, and the ever-present fear of being recognized weighed on Teonna's every step. Still, she pressed forward, fueled by the desperate need to live, truly live, free of the shackles of the past. When they finally arrived at the sprawling 6666 Ranch, Teonna was struck by its sheer enormity. Cowboys on horseback herded cattle across the open land, dust clouds rising beneath hooves like spirits of the earth itself. The air smelled of leather, sweat, and something else, power. This place was different from Montana. Its rules were unwritten, its laws made by those who claimed the land as their own. Coe had connections here. His uncle, an old vaquero named Miguel, had worked the ranch for years. He vouched for them, convincing the foreman to let Teonna stay, at least for a while. "She can work," Miguel had said. "She knows horses." And that was enough. For a time, Teonna found solace in the rhythm of ranch life. The horses didn't judge her past, the cattle didn't whisper about her name, and the men here seemed too focused on survival to pry into hers. But beneath the surface of this supposed refuge, something darker lurked. The 6666 Ranch was not just a cattle empire, it was a kingdom ruled by those who valued power above all else. The foreman, a man named Elias McCall, was a hard man, his face weathered by sun and time. He was a law unto himself, and while he tolerated Teonna's presence, he was not blind to the way some of his men looked at her. Among them was Clayton Briggs, a ranch hand with cruelty in his eyes and a hunger for control. From the moment Teonna arrived, she felt his gaze lingering too long, his smirk carrying an unspoken threat. He was the kind of man who thrived in lawless places, who took what he wanted simply because he could. And Teonna, despite her hardened exterior, was still young, still vulnerable in ways she wished she wasn't. One evening, as the sun bled across the sky in hues of crimson and gold, Teonna felt the shift. The change in the air, the sense of something coming. Miguel warned her to stay close, to never be alone, but she had spent her life running and was tired of fear. She wouldn't hide in the shadows any longer. That night, under the cover of darkness, Briggs made his move. Teonna had stayed late in the stables, brushing down one of the mares, finding comfort in the soft huffs of the animal's breath. She didn't hear him approach until it was too late, until the barn door creaked closed behind him. "You think you're safe here?" Briggs' voice was low, taunting. "This ain't Montana, girl. Out here, no one comes running when you scream." But Teonna Rainwater was not a helpless girl anymore. She had endured too much, fought too hard to let another man think he could control her fate. As Briggs reached for her, she moved, swift, precise. A strike to his throat, a knee to his ribs, just like her father had taught her. He stumbled, gasping for air, rage flickering in his eyes like wildfire. The fight was brutal. Briggs was stronger, but Teonna was faster. She dodged, landed blows where she could, but he was relentless. He grabbed her wrist, twisted hard enough to make her cry out. Just as she feared she might not escape this time, a voice rang out, a shotgun being cocked. "Let her go." It was Elias McCall. The foreman stood at the entrance, his expression unreadable. Briggs hesitated, his grip loosening just enough for Teonna to rip free. She stumbled back, breathing hard, eyes locked onto McCall's. For a long moment, no one moved. Then McCall spoke again, his voice like gravel. "You touch her again, you're dead." Briggs sneered but backed away, spitting blood onto the hay-covered floor before storming out. Teonna stood there, chest heaving, the weight of the moment pressing down on her. She turned to McCall, unsure of whether to thank him or fear him. He simply nodded. "You can fight. Good. You're gonna need it." The days that followed were tense. Briggs was still there, lurking, but he knew better than to act outright. Teonna kept her head high, refusing to let fear dictate her path, but she knew the danger had only just begun. The 6666 Ranch was no sanctuary. It was a battleground, a place where power dictated survival, and Teonna Rainwater, for all she had endured, was still fighting, always fighting. But this time, she wasn't just fighting to survive. She was fighting to belong, to carve out a life that was hers and hers alone, no matter what it took. And in Texas, under the wide, endless sky, she would make sure that no man, not Father Renaud, not Clayton Briggs, not anyone, would ever take that from her again.